So here's a series I haven't talked about in a while. Attack on Titan. Now, for those who don't know, I have quite the history with this series. Not only was it the first manga I ever started collecting, but it also played a big role at building my channel. Because for the first couple years of this channel, I would review the chapters monthly. Now, I eventually stopped doing that because I got tired of the whole monthly chapter review shit. But despite that, I did continue reading up to where we are now. And I felt that an updated Attack on Titan video was long overdue. We are going to eventually be getting into spoilers, talking about the most recent events of the manga, but for now I want to do a bit more of a general talk, just in case some of you aren't caught up. And if you aren't, hopefully I'll be able to convince you to do so. So Attack on Titan is an interesting series. I'm sure even if you haven't read it, you're probably quite familiar with it. This series really hit its stride in 2013 with its extremely successful anime adaptation. At that point, it was everywhere. It was pretty much inescapable. However, then the anime took a 4-year break, and while the series still remained super popular, manga sales super strong, a lot of people definitely lost interest in it, a lot of people forgot about it, and while still popular, definitely not as much as it used to be. It's understandable. Anime watchers wait in 4 years, they just end up forgetting about it, they check out the manga, the art is pretty shit, and then they just lose interest. Fair enough. Except no, because you'd be making a grave mistake. Because this series right here is honestly quite fantastic. This might sound a bit weird for me to say, but I would honestly consider the Attack on Titan manga a bit underrated. I know what you're thinking, what the fuck, if anything, it's overrated. Maybe so. You see, the early parts of the manga and season 1 of the anime, I can definitely see why you would think it's overrated. In fact, I honestly think the first part of the series is a bit overrated too. I definitely think it's good, but it's really nothing too crazy, and I can understand why someone might not get hooked on it right away. Especially the manga, because like I brought it before, the art at first is pretty nasty. But what am I getting at when I say it's underrated? You see, Attack on Titan still remains popular, lots of people still read it, but I also don't really often see many people talking about it as much as they used to, which I find really interesting because in its current form, I truly believe that Attack on Titan is one of the best shonen series I've ever read. It's easy to dismiss it at first, crappy art, so some edgy kid turns into a giant monster. I feel like I've seen this a million times before. But Isayama is a fucking madman, okay? The story that he crafted for the series, the world, the characters, fucking incredible. This series has evolved to such a point where whenever a new chapter comes out, it's usually the highlight of my month. And the anime, which is finally being consistent again, we just got new episodes in the summer, and now we're about to get new episodes in the spring, is honestly one of the best adaptations I've ever seen, because unlike much I can think of, it actually improves significantly upon the manga. Not only do you have fantastic art, some of the best animation I've ever seen in the 2D TV show, but, and most notably with Season 3, they're actually fixing some of the few missteps that the manga had. Where Season 3 in the manga started off a bit slow, there was a lot of fat there. With the anime, they just cut all that shit out, rearranged it a bit, put it together, tied a nice little bow around it, and they managed to turn what a lot of people think is the weakest part of the story into easily the best that the anime has done so far. So I really cannot stress this enough. If you were one of those people who sort of fell off Attack on Titan, like you enjoyed it at one point, but then you kind of lost interest, maybe if you took a look at the art, read the first chapter, nothing really clicked, you're like, well, what the fuck is this? What are people on about? I strongly urge you to check out more. Or if you fell off of it, to get back into it. Especially now that it's ending, like some of the stuff that's been happening in the manga has been insane, some of the best payoffs I've ever seen. You're really doing yourself a disservice if you're ignoring this series. Now, if you've read a good significant chunk and you don't like it, it's not your thing, that's fine, whatever. But if you've never actually checked out the series, I really cannot recommend it enough. With that being said, for those of us Chads who are caught up with the manga, oh boy! Gonna be getting into some major spoilers here. Trust me, if you're not caught up with the manga, you don't want any part of this. If you're anime only watcher, that's fine. You're getting new episodes soon, whatever. But seriously, like some of the shit, if it were spoiled for me, I would kill myself. Okay, so the last time I talked to you guys about Attack on Titan, it was at the very start of the Marley arc. Now, this point, it was kind of slow keeping up with this at this point. It definitely wasn't bad. It was just we were getting a lot of chapters with Reiner and the Marley. He, like, a lot of memes. He was the main character now, whatever. And I kind of stopped doing chapter reviews at this point because I kept saying the same stuff. I'm like, oh, when are we going to see the Eldians again? Well, what's Eren doing? What's Armin in this Titan form doing? I was just saying that month after month. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just done with these videos. But then, Eren shows up. And the Eldians ambush Marley. And this was honestly one of my favorite action scenes in manga history. Isayama gets a lot of shit for his art. He does. I definitely think he has improved greatly. In fact, even if you don't like the art at all, it's hard to deny that he has improved significantly since the start of the series. The problem is, it's hard for me to show people that because in order to show like the pieces of art that I think are fantastic from this series, it would be like spoiling a major event. Case in point, some of this shit, this action scene. This man is insane. Not only was it an excellent climax to this very slow build-up, it reintroduced us to all of the characters. We get to see how much they progress in 4 years, and we finally get to see some of the other Titans in action. It's a huge mess. We got Eren here causing shit. Armin nukes himself into colossal form. We get Zeke going crazy, but most importantly, we are introduced to the Warhammer Titan. It's very short-lived though, because Eren kills her ass in one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Jaw Titan attacks him, he grabs the Jaw Titan and he uses its teeth to crack the crystal that the Warhammer Titan trapped herself in to be safe. And then he cracks her and he eats her guts. I know I'm sounding like a, 2013 fanboy over here, but this was really some of the coolest shit I've seen in the manga all year. And then we just get twist after twist. Eren's going rogue. He's teaming up with Zeke. What is going on? Sasha gets killed. Holy shit, just like that. Gabby, probably the worst character in any manga I have ever seen. What an absolute bitch when Falco took that wine bottle for her. Wasn't having any of that. I was pretty pissed off. I'm like, nah, she deserved a big old whack across the face right there. Was pretty enjoyable to see that horse eater though. But yeah, a bunch of shit happens. You've all read it. You know what's up. And then, of course, in the most recent chapter, right with the announcement that the manga is ending soon, finally, I mean, we've known it was ending for a while, but like the final concrete information, it's revealed that Zeke's spinal fluid was in this wine that everyone was drinking. Meaning that at any moment now, Zeke could do his special Titan roar and transform anyone who drank the wine into a mindless Titan. I just can't wait. This is going to be the coolest shit ever. I'm so happy with how this series turned out, man. Like so many shonen series, like they just get worse and worse, but Attack on Titan is one of those rare instances where it started off good, if a bit overrated, but with every passing volume, as more things got revealed, as the stakes got higher, it just became so great. Isayama's such a talented writer, and I really hope after this series ends that he doesn't stop. He'll definitely deserve a nice break, but I would love to see some of the other stuff he comes up with. And also, if you are interested, he actually did already reveal the final panel of the manga. It makes me really wonder just how many chapters are left. Because I could see it going on for another year, but with this announcement, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to show the final panel here. It's not really spoilery. I mean, if it was, he probably wouldn't have shared it, but I will leave a link in the description if any of you are interested. And with that, that about does it for this Attack on Titan discussion. It's probably going to be another while before I do one of these, but I'm always talking about it on Discord. We got a spoiler chat there now for people to talk about it, so you can join that if you haven't already. And I guess I will see you in the next video, which will be similar to this one except concerning the Promised Neverland. So I'll see you guys then.